Yesterday, I almost left. Today is January 30, 2024, and yesterday more than once I thought about leaving. I truly considered it. I thought about telling him I'd be right back and not being there when my husband returned. Yesterday, like many days in motherhood, was an incredibly tough day. They fell into the trap of screens, phone, television, and offered them as a support system for my son. On days when everything was too difficult, he was little, and I was alone. I ended up using it to take a peaceful shower or enjoy one of my 10 daily cups of coffee. Currently, he is addicted to TV, and I have to get the right music of the day, or he simply won't eat. And when I say he won't eat, I mean literally. Yesterday, I saw him covering his mouth with his hands so I couldn't get to him. The detail in all of this is that he is a 1-year and 8-month-old baby, nowhere near adolescence. Anyway, when I served lunch, I realized it would be a tough day. He was adamant and wouldn't open his mouth for anything in the world. I tried to feed him for almost 2 hours. In the meantime, we fought. I spoke harshly to him. I told him how I felt, even though he couldn't understand me yet. I cried and cried. I cried for feeling invisible to my husband, who could be having lunch with us during the week but goes to the restaurant. I cried for my lack of patience. I cried for not respecting my son's time. I cried for feeling like a failure for introducing TV so early. I cried for being invisible. I cried so much that my head hurt, and it was at that moment that I thought about leaving. I seriously considered leaving my son with his father and going to another city, another state. Then dinner time came, just as stressful as lunchtime, but on a larger scale. I was already tired of the day, tired of the routine, and completely out of patience. After another crying session, I managed to finish the day. Dad gave him a bath. I brushed his teeth and I put on his pajamas. Then I combed the curly hair of my little boy, applied some cologne, and gave him a kiss. By the way, I also received a kiss. He kissed my cheek, gave it a gentle lick, and then smiled. I took a deep breath. I apologized for the stressful day, for my stress, for my lack of patience and sensitivity. I apologized to him out loud and in my thoughts, and then he smiled at me. And at that moment, my previous thought of leaving disappeared. I no longer felt that need. I wanted to be there when he woke up the next day. I truly wanted to smell his neck and kiss his cheek at dawn. And it was then that I realized I would never go anywhere. The thought of leaving is like an escape measure, a safety valve. A minute when you consider leaving as a way to self-console. If you leave, you won't go through this, and indeed maybe you won't, but you'll go through other sensations, other feelings just as bad. And at that moment, there won't be a 90-centimeter someone calling me mommy. Escaping is a survival mechanism for I never thought about doing that, and I tell you, are privileged. We, tired and overwhelmed mothers, think about a series of things every day. Do we act on them? No. After all, loving a small piece of plush is such a big, intense feeling that sometimes it suffocates us.